Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm back after a huge hiatus that I did not plan on taking, but just kind of unfortunately happened. Nothing bad happened or anything, just got really busy with baseball and finishing up school. My husband was working from home a lot and his work computer is my editing computer, so that kind of put a hitch in my editing and stuff. I have like a bunch of videos that I filmed that I have not gotten a chance to edit, unfortunately. So as you saw from the thumbnail, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite items to take with us on road trips. Particularly with kids. I have two boys. If you don't know, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and me and my husband, so we're a family of 4. We don't travel with babies anymore, so I don't have to bring, diapers and stuff to change them, things like that. So it's a little bit easier now that they're older and they're potty trained and have been for a couple of years now. But some of the things that I bring with us all the time to kind of make things easier. Now, the trip we took, as you can tell, we went to New Mexico. We went to a couple of different spots in New Mexico, which for us, I live in Southern California, is a pretty long ride if you do it all in a day. On the way to, we did it all in a day, but on the way back, we split it up into 2. It's about 13 hours from where I live, give or take, not including stops to go to the restroom, stops to eat, stops at all the little roadside attraction things that you can go along the way. So, of course, I brought stuff along to make things as comfortable as possible, not only for my husband and I, who he did most of the driving, I only did a little bit of it, but especially for the kids, just to make it a little bit more tolerable for them. When they are content, generally, we are content, and the opposite happens when they are not. So, but at the same time, these are things that I kind of bring along with few exceptions. On a normal road trip, if it's going to be a couple of, like when we drive to Vegas, it's like a 3-hour drive, something like that. I'll bring stuff like this along, or even just like a day trip, I'll bring some of this stuff along. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And the first thing that I like to bring with us on a really long trip, especially if the kids are going to be sleeping in the car, is a pillow that has quite a bit of structure in it. I don't want a flimsy pillow. I want a pretty firm pillow that they can kind of hug up against and lean into and go to sleep on. It just makes things a little bit more comfortable. Their heads aren't lolling around or anything like that. They're not in huge car seats anymore that have like the full surround and like the bulkiness where I can put one of those headband thingies around them. They're in boosters now, so they need a little bit more structure to help them sleep. Otherwise, they're kind of going to be like, they'll wake up with a crick in their neck. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you have kids who've fallen asleep in the car. So I just like to bring something that they can kind of hug, give them a little bit of support, and make things more comfortable for them in the car. So that's the first thing I brought. The next thing I brought was sleep masks. I actually brought 3 of them, one for everybody but the driver. We left from California maybe around 4:50 in the morning. In fact, I wanted to leave at 4:30, but my husband took a little bit longer to get ready. Poor guy. He's a heavy sleeper. He has a hard time getting going even on a full night's rest. He was gonna walk into sit in the car and just knock out. But even getting up to use the restroom, put his shoes on, and walk himself to the car was it was a challenge for that poor guy. But I brought these so as the sun rose, because obviously we're heading east from the West Coast, the sun is shining into your eyes. So I brought these just to kind of keep, especially the kids, but keep them asleep for longer, resting comfortably without the sunlight waking them. So if you are going to be traveling with the kids and you want them to sleep as much as possible in the car, definitely invest in sleep masks. Invest for yourself if you're a passenger, obviously, and you're sensitive to light. I am very sensitive to light. So if I am not driving and I have to sleep in the car, I definitely like to have one of these. And these we got really inexpensively. This one's mine. You can see this side is like silky and this one's more like a fleece. I got these at the Dollar Tree for they're $1.25 now. So really, really inexpensive, easy to find, kind of around like the toiletry section. I highly recommend getting these for you and your kids, just to make sleeping a little bit easier, and especially if you want your kids to sleep for longer, which it's just easier if they can sleep for as long as possible while you're driving. So definitely pick up some of those. And then along with that kind of sleep accoutrements, I definitely keep these are little fleece lap blankets. These stay in the car with us all year long. These never really leave the car. They're cute. They're from Disney. They have our names embroidered on them. We each have one. I got these on a sale. Usually they have these go on sale with free embroidery. I have found, because I've ordered these for a couple of different people in the family, around November. So if you're looking for something that's really, really cute and personalized, definitely keep an eye on the Disney store online, and you can pick these up pretty cheaply. Even their PJs sometimes go on sale with free embroidery. So keep an eye on that if that's something that interests you. But I like to have blankets in the car with us for when we're out during a day trip or road trip. It doesn't really matter. I keep these in the car. They never leave unless I have to bring them out to wash them. They can be used kind of like as a makeshift pillow. If you're out at night and it gets chilly, you can kind of wrap yourself. One time we were at the beach and it was much colder than we had anticipated, and we kind of used these as like makeshift sweaters as we were walking around. They just come in handy, especially with kids or if you're somebody who gets cold easily. I just recommend having a smaller blanket that's pretty compact and it's not going to take too much room up in your car, whether you're on a road trip or not. But certainly when you're on a road trip, you're going to want one just to have an extra blanket. You never know when it comes on in handy if you stop at a park to kind of have the kids stretch their legs, or maybe the hotel bed isn't quite what you thought it was going to be. It's just good to have that kind of extra little helper in the car with you if you need it. And you probably will. Okay, the next couple of things I have, this one, pretty self-explanatory, wet ones. They're good for sticky hands, for spills, for messes, wiping faces. Usually I buy baby wipes, but Pop went, he goes to this little store that sells a bunch of stuff that Target, like Overstock from Target, and it's like right down the street from his house, so he goes at least once a day to buy stuff, and he bought a ton of wet ones, so I've been using these. So always get yourself some sort of wet wipe. So there's those. Another thing, especially when traveling with kids, that I like to have are wet dry bags. These are these two particular ones. I bought one for each of the boys. We did go swimming a couple of times. All of our hotels had pools, and we didn't always have the luxury of letting their clothes dry until we got back to a hotel or to our next destination. So we kind of slipped these in there, and that way they didn't have to, we kind of slipped their bathing suits in here. That way we didn't have to worry about anything else getting wet. These would be great for the beach, great for if you have younger kids and maybe they have an accident or something, just keeping something like this. You can put their soiled clothes in here. You don't have to worry about any smells or dampness getting on anything else. So these definitely come in handy, and they hold quite a bit. This one, I was able to fit all 3 sets of trunks from my husband and my 2 little ones very easily with a little bit of room to spare, just in one pouch alone. So I just like having these kinds of things on hand. Even when I'm packing, I pack our stuff in plastic. It just makes things a little bit easier when I'm pulling clothes out. That way I don't have a mess on my hand. So I definitely like to travel with those. And then the next few are kind of like caddy-ish or storage related, I guess you could say. Let me put that down. The first one, on a road trip, you definitely want to have snacks in the car with you for those long miles, especially if you are traveling an area where there are like cities and then nothing in between. And if you've ever traveled in the American Southwest, there is a whole lot of nothing in between any stop. You'll get gas stations and like roadside stands with maybe one fast food place, maybe a Love's or something like that. You'll get that, and then you're gonna have to travel a couple of hours before you get the next one. Anybody who's ever driven to Las Vegas from Southern California knows this as well. Pretty much anywhere on the western part of the United States, maybe from the Midwest on, there's just a lot of empty. And you definitely want to have snacks. So one of the things that I like to bring with us, this is like a cooler. It's insulated just to keep things kind of that are temperature sensitive. I will put in here. You can see, let me open it up for you guys. I got this at Target on clearance two summers ago, but you can see that it's insulated. It's pretty roomy. This is even great. I bring this with us when we have like a beach day trip. I'll pack us a picnic in here, and this will hold the food for all of us, like our sandwiches, chips, things like that. It holds everything pretty good. I even bring it camping with us. But this definitely got filled with stuff, goodies when we were on our road trip. Again, just because of temperature and to kind of keep things organized a little bit. So I brought that. The next thing that I really love, this is kind of a recent purchase, is, and let me kind of hold it a little bit back. This is a structured bag. It will stay up and open on its own because it's got like these like bar thingies. I don't even know how to describe it, but it folds down. You can kind of press it down to make it more compact, but for the most part, it'll stay upright. This is great for the beach, for the pool, for a road trip. You can keep pretty much whatever you want in here, and you can keep like dry goods and stuff. So stuff like this I really like, because it's like easier to rifle through. It stays open. I'm not like digging and searching around for stuff. It just makes things a little bit easier for me. And it comes with like a zipper pouch, and you can see the next thing I'm going to show you is right there. You can see it's got like this little pouch right here. It has one on each side. I've been keeping my eye out for these for a long time, trying to find one that was like under 30 bucks, here, there, and everywhere. And this was a steal. First, they were originally 10, and I'm like, maybe I'll pick that one up. And then the next time I went to Target, they were on sale 50% off, so I got this for $5. I also picked up one for my mom too. So just again, you can't have too much organization in the car. I don't think. It just makes life so much easier. The next thing kind of speaks for itself when you are traveling with kids, and that is a drink container with a closed spout. No spills. The next thing I'm going to show you is for eating with kids in the car, and that is these little caddies here. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You can get these, I think, at the 99-cent store. I got this particular one. I have one for each of them. I got these at Target in the dollar spot. And you'll even find them right now, like in the back to school. Absolutely worth it for eating in the car. You can see it has 3 compartments. What I like to do is put drinks. If they want like a sauce, like ketchup or whatever, I'll put like a bunch of napkins down and dispense. And then I'll have either nuggets and fries or a burger or whatever it is we decide to eat. These are awesome. They are deep enough to where the kids' drinks don't spill out. It keeps everything kind of contained, and it fits comfortably in their lap. I used to bring these like really big, almost like desk-like things, especially when G was really into like drawing in the car. I don't bring them so much just because they take up so much room. This is much more compact. It's pretty small. Again, it fits in their laps easily. They've got a handle. My husband hands me the food when we're in the drive-thru. I can kind of organize it really quickly and then just pass it back to them. Again, these are things that stay in my car underneath their seats, and they don't leave unless I have to pull them out to wash them. And just invaluable in keeping things organized so you don't have French fries and a mess everywhere when your kids are eating in the car. They stay with us on day trips and road trips alike. It doesn't really matter. We use them constantly, at least twice a month. The kids will be eating out of these while we're on the go. So if you're looking to kind of neaten up and keep the food situation organized when you're on a road trip, definitely consider something like this. Even for yourself, you can put like a bunch of snacks and have it on the seat next to you and kind of pull as you're driving. It just makes things a little bit easier. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to share with you guys for my road trip favorites is actually an app that I found on Pinterest when I was scrolling one day, and it's called Road Trippers. It's really, really cool. Basically, it's kind of like a AAA guide meets a GPS. You open the app, you punch in your destination, and it will map out your route and then share along the way pretty much any kind of thing you're interested in stopping at, whether it's bathroom, whether it's roadside attractions, all the little things along the way that you kind of want to stop and see. Like while we were driving to White Sands from Carlsbad, we went and we saw the world's largest pistachio at Pistachio Land. We stopped and got pistachio ice cream, and they had free wine tasting. It was a lot of fun. I completely forgot. We had because my husband and I had did this trip before we had kids years and years ago, like back in 2009, something like that. And I remember passing by the pistachio. I could not remember where it was in the US because we've just taken so many trips. Couldn't remember where it was. So when I saw it, I'm like, okay, that's where it is. We're stopping there because I just drove by it. My husband was asleep on that particular stretch of road. So I definitely didn't want to miss that. We stumbled on, the Eagles song, Take It Easy, corner of Winslow, Arizona. There's a little roadside attraction with a truck and I think like a statue of a girl. We didn't stop at that particular one, but I didn't realize they had made like a little homage to that song in Winslow, Arizona. And if you're a fan of the Eagles, or if you're just a grown-up looking for something cool to go see, that's definitely the kind of thing that certain people want to look at. But it led us to some great stores that the kids wanted to see. There's all kinds of stores selling a lot of like Native American artifacts and crafts, or not artifacts, a lot of Native American crafts and craftsmanship. You can buy blankets and moccasins and kachina dolls and all kinds of stuff if that's your jam, or you just want like some sort of memorabilia from your trip. It will find pretty much anything that you're looking for, anything of interest, anything weird and fun that you want to see. My husband and I like doing stuff like that, where we stop at, like that Paul Bunyan statue that's up north in California, or gosh, where else have we stopped? There's this big giant green head in I think it's Kingman, Arizona. Just any type of roadside attraction that you want to take a picture of and post on Instagram, this thing will find it. But it will also find like historical sites, national parks, restaurants, a number of different things. And there are other apps that do this. This is just the one that I happened to stumble upon, and it worked for us. We found several stores and stops along the way. The kids kind of got to pick stuff. So doing things like that, that make finding really cool roadside stops to kind of give your legs a break, without having to do a whole lot of internet searching, like that saved me a ton of time, because that was one of the things that I was going to set out to do, was like, okay, where are we going to stop along the way? This made that easy peasy. I pulled a bunch from our route and let the kids pick the ones they wanted to stop at, and we were done with that particular chore in maybe like 10-15 minutes, whereas without the app probably would have taken me a couple of hours at least to look up all the places along the way that might be interesting for us. So definitely, if you're somebody who likes to stop at stuff like that, take a look at this app or others like it, and you never know, you might find something really, really cool, like the world's giantest pistachio. I don't know. But anyhow, with that being said, I hope that some of these tips were helpful for you. I know that we are smack in the middle of a lot of people's vacations, and stuff like this is always kind of helpful. I like looking at travel tips and stuff like that when I'm on YouTube and Pinterest, just to make things kind of easier for me. I hope that this gave you some ideas on how to make things a little bit more comfortable for you and the kids in the car on a long car ride. Some of this could even work technically like any mode of transportation, really. Obviously not all of it, but some of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It is very good to be back, and even though I still have to kind of like squeeze them in there, I am really, really missing doing that. So hopefully I will have maybe a couple more travel videos. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and happy and safe travels this summer. Take care, and bye for now.